Welcome to Ease into Imperfect Eating, where dieting is dumb, moderation is key, and learning to eat some of the pizza without eating all of the pizza has taken the place of the all or nothing mindset. I'm your host, Jacqueline. So today we have a really, really important question. It's a mindset question, but you're going to see how it actually involves movement, meals, and sleep. But mindset is kind of where we have to start with this. So the question is, how to help your seasonal depression, or rather, how can I help my seasonal depression? And I am particular about using the word help and not combat or battle or fight. I hate those words because it just puts me in a fight with myself, which I refuse to do from now on. So I really want to help my seasonal depression, or rather help you with your seasonal depression. And at the time I'm recording this, it is winter, but this is pertinent during any time of year. I used to feel seasonal depression during the summer when I was a teacher. During the school year, I felt a lot of anxiety, but during the summer, I felt depression. It felt really hard to get up and do anything. I would find myself sitting on the couch watching marathons of Millionaire Matchmaker. Now I'm running marathons, but during the summer when I was a teacher, I would sit on the couch, I would watch marathons on Bravo, and it just felt really hard to move or do anything. The impossible task. Literally everything felt hard. Showering felt hard. Getting dressed felt hard. Leaving the house felt hard. Didn't matter that I had all of this free time, all of this time off from being a teacher. I just was in this place where everything felt hard, and sitting on the couch was like the only thing I could do. And it was really hard to get out of this cycle. So this can happen during the winter. This can happen during the summer. And honestly, like sitting in our house is kind of like the big thing that perpetuates this. So let's get into my tips for how to help your seasonal depression. So number one, I want you, and anytime I'm talking about this stuff, I want you to get a notebook, get a journal. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but write this stuff down. Get this stuff out of your head. I've had clients who've told me like, oh, how is journaling going to help anything? And then once they start doing it, they're like, holy shit, Jacqueline, like I never realized these are the thoughts going in my head. Because I took the time to write this down, it helped me sort through these things. So if you're someone that's really adverse to wanting to write stuff down, this does not have to be like Dear Diary when you were in middle school. This is like journaling for a purpose. This is writing for a purpose. And the purpose is to help you sort things out so that you can take action and move ahead in your life. So the first thing, I want you to describe how you do want to feel. When we get into depression, it's really hard to even think that it's possible to get out of depression. We get into circle thinking, and while all we think is like, I feel terrible, I suck, this is life is awful. We get into that circle thinking. So what I want you to do is write down, like, how do you want to feel during winter? How do you want to feel during summer? How do you want to feel? Whatever season it is, how do you actually want to be feeling during that time? And maybe you've never actually been able to feel this way in the past. Maybe every winter you feel this way, or every summer you feel this way. And granted, yes, I'm not a doctor, but I'm someone who has struggled with depression for nearly my whole life. And I will say that this is the first time in my life where I actually feel pretty good. I'm not bouncing off the walls, crazy happy all the time, but I'm in a place where I feel normal. And just feeling normal is a big step from where I used to be. So I want you to describe, how do you want to feel during this season? And then also write down, how do you not want to feel? Like you might write down, I don't want to feel tired. I don't want to feel sluggish. I don't want to feel like everything is impossible. I want to feel like some things are possible. I want to just feel normal. I want to feel like it's easy to just smile or put clothes on, right? Like just think about those things. How do you want to feel and how do you not want to feel? So when we're making a decision, we are moving closer to pleasure. We're moving closer to something that's adding value and it feels good, or we're moving far away from pain. We're moving beyond what doesn't feel good, right? So you want to move closer to what feels good, far away from the pain. Number two, I want you to write down and practice the thoughts that you do want to be happening. So if you were a person that you felt good during the winter, what are the thoughts that person might be having? What are the thoughts of a person who feels good during the summer, who's like able to get up and move around? What are those thoughts? This was really hard for me because I had never experienced those thoughts. But now I can see like, oh, For a person who feels good, it's not a constant struggle. They might be thinking things like, wow, I can do this. This feels good. I enjoy doing this. This isn't an uphill battle. It's not always a grind. There's this this at ease. You actually feel at ease. Like this is calm. This is fun. Those are the thoughts of someone who is feeling good, right? So I want you to write those things down and also practice those things in your head. So when you hear yourself saying something that doesn't align with how you want to feel, you have a reframe ready. You know what it is that you do want to say. And no, this is not an overnight change. It's going to take some unlearning of the thoughts that you've done in the past and relearning, reframing the thoughts that you do want. So it's going to take time. This is not going to be an overnight thing, but it does take practicing this over and over to become that person, to become the person that has these thoughts and can do these things. All right, the last thing, number 3, is pick 3 non-negotiables that you need to do in the morning. I say non-negotiables because we know ourselves best. We know the things that we try to negotiate on and say things like, you don't really have to do this. It's not that big of a deal. I do this all the time. I do this all of the time. And what I've learned is I don't have to go over the top. These don't have to be ridiculous things like I'm going to run 26 miles today. No, this doesn't have to be like Whole30. I'm never going to eat sugar. I'm not going to eat any sugar today. No, that's ridiculous. I'm talking like really, really small things. And we're talking about in the morning. Why in the morning? Because if you start your day off good, it's easier to do the other things that happen. You start off with an accomplishment. You start off doing something for yourself. So this is not to yourself. This is not punishment. You're not like, cool, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do, an hour workout, an hour insanity workout. Cool. Like maybe if you enjoy that, fine. But like you're starting off doing something that you actually enjoy and helps you feel your best. So I'll give you my 3 non-negotiables. And remember, these are things that I try to negotiate with myself. And then I have to remind myself, nope, you're doing this thing because it helps you feel good. It helps you set your day up. So my number 1 thing that I do first thing in the morning is I get outside and move my body. That's it. Get outside and move your body. If I get that done, I know that other things are going to fall into place. Yes, it is cold outside. It's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit here in Chicago during this winter. During the summer, I know it can get really hot. It can be, 100 degrees, but I want to get outside and move my body. If I can do that first thing, I feel better. Even during the cold, I had layers on. I had a hat on. I had a scarf around my face. I looked ridiculous. I actually still had my pajama pants on when I went out for my walk this morning. I didn't care. I just put my scarf around my face and pretended like no one could see me. But getting that done felt so good. Feeling air on my skin. Honestly, feeling a little bit cold actually helped me feel good. Just knowing that I was alive, feeling that way, it helped me feel so much better. So that's my number 1 thing is I need to get up and get my body moving outside. And granted, it's not over the top. I didn't run 26 miles. If you didn't hear, I said I walked 1 mile. I walked 1 mile this morning. That's it. Even during my mile, I said, Jacqueline, it's kind of cold. Maybe you should head back. And then I said, there you go again, trying to negotiate. It's not that cold. You're dressed for this weather. You can make it 1 mile. And that's all I did. I got 1 mile done. It was about 20 minutes of movement. And then I went back into my house. The next thing that I have to do, my next non-negotiable, is I have to take a shower and wash my hair. This is set up because I know that I try to negotiate with myself, like, you don't have to shower today. No one's going to see you. It's not a big deal. I have long hair, and I know hairdressers will say, don't wash your hair every day. If I don't wash my hair, I feel disgusting. I feel oily. It doesn't matter what dry shampoo I use. If I don't wash my hair, I feel disgusting. So one of my non-negotiables is to wash my hair and do something with it. So today it's just in a braid. Sometimes I'm blow drying it, but I have to do something with it and just make myself look presentable. I'm not going to the Oscars. I'm not going to the Grammys. I don't look like I'm going to prom, but just make myself look presentable. If I can do that, it helps me feel better the rest of my day. When I don't do that, and literally this happened last week, I was like, that's okay. You don't have to wash your hair. It's so cold out. Felt disgusting the whole rest of the day. So that's why it's one of my non-negotiables. take a shower, and wash your hair. My last non-negotiable, because I work for myself and I don't have a boss, it can be really easy for me to just sit in my house and not interact with people in real life, to just sit in a dark room in my house. My last non-negotiable is I have to leave the house and go to my co-working office. This is set up for me because I know how I function best. My co-working office has bright lights, there's music, there's people, there are snacks. It's a great place to be. I know I can guarantee if I get to my co-working office, my mind is going to be a lot more focused than it is when I'm at home. And it also guarantees that I'm going to talk to another human because there's humans here. There aren't humans at my home. So if I get myself up and out of the house to my co-working spot, I will see another human. I don't even have to have that on my list of non-negotiables. It will just happen. I will talk to another human, the office manager or someone else that works here. And just having that community helps with my mental health. It helps with my seasonal depression. So those are my non-negotiables. Let me say them again. So it is, I need to move my body first thing in the morning, no matter how hot or how cold it is outside. And also, even if I'm short on time, like if this morning I was like, shoot, I actually have to be, I have to be somewhere, maybe I'd go out for like 5 minutes. Maybe I would just go take the dog around the block. Maybe it would be really short, but I want to make sure that I get that done so I can like do that mental check off in my head and be like, cool, you did this thing, on to the next thing, take a shower and wash my hair, look presentable. And the last thing is leave the house. It doesn't matter that it's 20 degrees, leave the house. And even if like there's, a bunch of snow in Chicago and we're snowed in, maybe leaving the house will just be walking to Walgreens or something. It might not always be that I'm leaving the house to do work, but I need to leave the house and not just sit in one room in my house and feel depressed and feel anxious and feel all of that impossible task. Like, it's just so heavy. Everything's impossible. So again, describe how you do want to feel, how you don't want to feel. Write and practice the thoughts of someone who does feel good, who feels the feelings that you want to feel. And then the last one is pick your 3 non-negotiables. They can be different than mine. And honestly, they really should be different than mine because your life is different than mine. It's just like with dieting. We think, oh, I'm going to follow, this person figured this thing out. They figured out this meal plan. They figured out this way of eating. Let me just follow that to a T. If you try to follow my life to a T, it's not going to make sense for your life. You probably don't have the exact same struggles that I have. You probably, you might not work for yourself. Like, you might always leave your house and that's not the issue. But maybe for you, it's something with meals. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. Maybe you're drinking coffee before you turn to water. You're drinking soda before you turn to water. Maybe that's part of your non-negotiables. But you're thinking of the things that are going to help you feel your best. And if you can get those accomplishments, it's going to make the other things a little bit easier. And you're going to stop feeling as depressed. Again, this is not an overnight fix. This is going to take time. But if we can think about each season, how we do want to feel, think the thoughts of someone that feels that way, and then do tiny actions and build up momentum, build a strong foundation. This will help with your depression over time. All right, guys, take care. Let me know how this goes. If you need any help or any other tips, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.